premier bronc busters of the entire world competing for the championship of America. The first on the list is Dusty King, attempting to ride that outlaw of the range, corkscrew, letterbuck.
Dusty?
No, I'm all right.
Just an old groundhog. Say, anything I can do for you?
No, thanks. Just arrested. And besides, you better save your strength. You may need it when your turn comes.
Well, I guess it's up to me to save the day for the range busters.
Okay, Buffalo Bill. You save the day, and I'll save a place for you right here.
Oh, yeah? But don't you be surprised if I come home with a nice, shiny championship belt.
Okay, Grace. All the luck in the world. So that's their old championship belt, is it? I wish I'd seen it sooner. It isn't worth it.
Oh, that has nothing to do with it. It isn't how much it costs, it's what it stands for.
Don't you pay any attention to him, Crash. You hang on to that belt no matter what they say.
Trouble you, Dusty, you're just jealous when you ought to be proud to have a champion rider right here in your midst.
We are. We're just busting with pride.
Now, don't you get all broken up about it.
All right, you fellas, go on, have your fun. But I'm going to take a bath and a shave, because I'm expecting the photographers from the newspapers. You gotta look your best when you're a champ.
You go right ahead. We'll keep them entertained. I'll tell them your life story, and Alibi can show them pictures of you when you were a baby. Champ. Where are you going, Alibi?
I'm going somewhere where there ain't no horses or cows or nobody to talk about. Fine way to spend a vacation at a rodeo.
Oh, am I glad to meet you, champ. Oh. Well, now, don't get nervous, I'll only take you a few minutes. Well, my, that's a nice piece of bric-a-brac you won there.
Hey, yeah, it's a little hard to get used to, but I guess it'll do. Say, who's this for, pal?
Oh, this is for the Current, the Arizona Current. I'm sorry I didn't get around to you at the rodeo.
Well, that's quite all right. I'm sure we can do a better job of it here.
Tell me, champ, how do you feel?
What's a little sore?
Oh, I know. You must be all tired. Now, just back up there a bit and just some kind of a pose, you know. Now, hold it, feet. Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. Ah, now then, move over that way. Now, back over this way. Now, come this way. Now, back up and give me lots of glamour. Hold it.
Sure feel better when this is over. Hurry it up, will you, please?
Oh, yes. Are you ready? Throw out your teeth and smile. Are you ready? Oh, wonderful! This will make me all right. Well, then, all right. Thanks a lot, champ. See you in the funny papers. Oh, well, then.
Quite all right. Don't mention it. Ha-ha! To Crash Corrigan from Matilda Dill. Looks like you fixed yourself up for life, Crash. A life sentence.
I wish you'd keep your nose out of my affairs.
I wish you'd keep your affairs out from under my nose.
Hey. Hey.
Huh? Oh.
What is this?
Isn't that funny?
Look, Alibi. Dusty's showing off in my belt.
Well, look, Crash, it was all a mistake. Honest it was. Why?
Sure was. Says here, Crash Corrigan and championship belt awarded him as America's champion bronc rider.
Oh, let me see that. You front page crasher. You snaking other people's belts.
Now hold your horses, Crash, and give me a chance to explain this, well, to picture here. Well, looky here. Miss Maybelle Pembroke, June graduate, returns to Father's Ranch from New England Finishing School. How do you like that? Well, now, if it was Miss Maybelle that owned that ranch instead of old Matilda.
She owns plenty ranch. Anyhow, her father does.
Where does it say that?
I know. Well, I've bounced her on my knee many a time.
You have?
Maybe he has. Could be.
Of course, she wasn't old enough to know any better. Maybe 6, maybe 7. That was when I was top wrangler on her father's spread.
Been a long time, has it?
Yep, years.
And you've never been back?
No, never.
I'm ashamed of you, Alibi.
So am I.
After the way old Pembroke treated you, gave you a job, food, and clothing.
And what have you done to show you appreciation?
Nothing, absolutely nothing.
And even less. Oh, for shame, Alibi. For shame.
Shucks, fellas. I never thought of it that way. What'll it do? You think I ought to drop him a line thanking him for what he's done?
Oh, Alibi. That would be too cruel.
And too hard to read, too.
Well, what'll I do?
Well, Alibi, let's, you and I go down there for a little visit, huh?
Sure, let's drop down there and spend our vacation.
All right. We'll go right down and see good old Jim and Maybelle. Maybelle. Oh, I get it. No, sir, you can't hornswoggle me. This time, I'm staying away from people who own cows and horses.
All right, Alibi, you don't have to go if you don't want to. All you got to do is write me a letter of introduction.
That's right, and just you tell Mr. Pembroke how long you've known me to be a good, law-abiding citizen.
Who said anything about you?
No, it's against my principles.
Well, there's nothing to stop me from going without your letter, is there?
There's nothing to stop you from coming back faster than you went. Out in that part of Arizona, ranchers got to be mighty particular about taking on hands that they don't know nothing about.
Maybe so. All right. I know an hombre that knows Pembroke as well as you do, maybe even a little bit better. And he'll give me a letter of introduction.
Dear Jim, Crash Corrigan, bearer of this letter, has been known to me for a long number of years. There's no cowhand that knows cattle better or can raise more havoc with horse thieves and rustlers. Regards, L.D. Bledsoe.
I told you I'd get it.
What do you aim to do with that letter, Crash? Frame it?
Shucks, if I'd known that's what you wanted, I'd have written that kind of a letter. But I thought you was figuring on making a good impression on Maybelle.
I was. Why?
Well, a gal that's been educated in the East ain't going to go for a common cowhand. She's used to dudes. No, sir. If you ain't a dude, you ain't going to get no place with Maybelle.
Alibi? Maybe you're right.
There's the fence that started all the trouble, Miss Maybelle. One surveyor said it was on your father's place, and another said it was on Colonel Harrison's property.
It seems a shame that things could have changed so in the few years I've been away to school. Father and Colonel Harrison used to be such close friends.
Well, they sure ain't no more. Right after the judge decided in your father's favor, things started happening mysterious. That's when the ranch foreman disappeared and your father promoted Dick Taggart to take his place.
Yes. Father hinted to me in a letter that he thought Dick was the man to handle it.
Well, somehow he wasn't. Our cows just kept right on disappearing.
Rustlers?
Ain't no other way of figuring it. The general notion is that it's Colonel Harrison and his outfit trying to get even.
Oh, but Shorty, that's ridiculous.
Maybe. But sometimes I wonder if somebody ain't using Harrison as a blind. Someone right in their own backyard.
How do you mean?
Well, it ain't none of my business. But anyhow, I decided to do a little watching and figuring on my own. And the first thing I found out was...
Shorty! Listen, Shorty! Dick, help me! Shorty's been shot.
Did you see who did it?
Not to tell who he was. He rode off in that direction.
Well, couldn't you tell what he looked like?
No. Except that he was riding a horse with a white splotch on its hip.
Are you sure?
Yes. What's the matter, Dick?
Well, the only horse around here with a mark like that belongs to Grover Harrison.
But...
Now,
Dick.
understand, Maybelle. I'm not accusing Grover. Somebody else might have been riding his horse. But whoever it was, his aim was awfully good.
Father, what are you going to do?
I'm going to have it out with the scoundrels.
But, Father, nobody's sure who killed Shorty.
We know whose horse he was riding.
We only think we do.
That's right, boss. There could be another horse marked the same way.
Anyway, if Grover or his father wanted to kill anybody, why should it be Shorty?
Because they knew he was smarter than the average. Maybe they thought he knew too much already.
What Shorty knew wasn't about the Harrisons. He thought somebody else was causing all the trouble.
Somebody else? Who?
I don't know. But whoever it was, Shorty thought he was using Colonel Harrison as a blind. He was shot before he could tell me what he meant.
Did Shorty ever speak to you about any such fool notions?
No, not a word.
Doesn't make sense. The thing I want to find out is, what notions that old black-livered Colonel has?
Father, please, listen. If anybody talks to the Harrisons, let me go first. Otherwise, it might mean more killing.
You don't understand how things have changed, Maybelle. It isn't safe for you to go over there.
Oh, yes, it is. But it might not be safe for anybody else. Somebody might start shooting instead of talking. You know I'm right, Father. Whatever else you may think of Colonel Harrison, you know he wouldn't harm me. Here, Dick. Take this gun and put it away. I'll be back pretty soon.
Maybelle, come on in. Gee, it's good to see you. I heard about you coming home and wanted to come over and see you, but I kind of figured that... Oh, I see. You've been letting somebody fill your head full of a lot of fool notions, huh?
I don't suppose you know that Shorty's been killed.
Shorty? No. How?
He was shot.
Oh, was anyone around when it happened?
I was.
You were? Oh, I'm sorry. Any idea who did it?
No, except that he was riding a horse that had a white splotch on its hip.
Maybelle, surely you don't think I had anything to do with it?
So,
I wouldn't...
They sent you here to accuse my son. Afraid to come themselves, hiding behind your skirts.
Nobody sent me, Colonel, and I'm not accusing anybody.
Oh, yes, you are. And so is your father. I heard you. First your father robs us, and then he accuses, trying to shift the guilt.
Oh, wait a minute, Father.
Oh, yes, afraid to come himself. Sending you. Well, you can go back and tell him that any time any Harrison starts using a gun, it won't be on hired help.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon. We wanted to ask you about that belt in there.
Oh, yes. An exceptional piece of merchandise. I'll get it out and show it to
Oh,
you.
no, never mind. We don't want to see it. We just want to know where you got it.
How's that?
Yes, where did you get it?
Well, Say, you don't think there's anything wrong with it, do you?
Well, maybe not, but we could tell you better if we knew who sold it to you.
Well, I think he said his name was, Gerald Griswold.
Gerald what?
Griswold, of the New England Griswolds.
New England, eh? Did he talk New England?
Well, I'd say a variable New England. Mostly Wyoming, with a New England coating. Say, you don't think he stole it, do you?
No. Not if he talked mostly Wyoming. What did he say he wanted to sell it for?
Well, you see, it wasn't an outright sale. He traded it in on an outfit of clothes.
Clothes? And what was the matter with the ones he wore?
Nothing. Except he said he wanted something more elite.
Have a cigar, Bob.
No, thanks. I don't smoke.
Oh, you're one of them book-writing fellers, huh?
Yeah, all right. Yes, sir.
Well, I'll be darned. I never thought I'd meet up with one of them critters.
If it's an eye full of the Old West you're looking for, young feller, you're headed in the right direction. Yes, sirree, Bub, you sure are.
You mean the Pembroke ranch?
Yep. The hair's been flying twixt the Pembrokes and the Harrisons for quite a spell now. That's getting to be a real hot spot.
Hot spot? You mean shooting?
Like you never seen or heard before. Well, to begin with, somebody who's one of Jim Pembroke's witnesses during the trial.
Oh, what was the trial about?
Oh, vermin strip of ground. Didn't amount to much then. But you'd think it was a whole spread now.
It's very interesting, but I hope the trial all over. I really came here for a vacation.
Well, partner, you couldn't have done any worse. This feud is really coming to a head. Now that this here Shorty Branscom's gotten shot.
Looks like all he took was his razor and toothbrush.
He didn't take this.
What is it?
It's that letter of introduction from Bledsoe.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't want to be a hog about this, so supposing you start dancing.
I hope that's not what I think it is.
What?
Mr. Griswold. Why, Mr. Griswold.
I beg your pardon, miss.
It's I who should beg your pardon, and shame for the community I live in. It's preposterous. A writer of Mr. Griswold's reputation honors us with a visit, and you treat him in this manner.
Well, we didn't know he was a writer, Miss Pembroke. He sure don't look like one.
Well, he is a celebrated author. He wrote... What did you write, Mr. Griswold?
Why, books.
About New England.
I'm Maybelle Pembroke, Mr. Griswold, and I'm terribly distressed about all this.
Oh, don't mention it. I think it's a very amusing and interesting experience.
The sheriff tells my father that you'd like to visit our ranch.
Yes, miss, if I wouldn't be too much trouble.
Not at all. We'd be delighted. Of course, I hope you won't be disappointed, but I'll do my best to look after your education. I suppose you've been in Texas long enough to know what this is.
Oh, I seem to recall this is something you put on a horse.
It's commonly known as a Mexican saddle. It's not much like the saddles we see in New England, is it?
No, ma'am, it isn't. They don't seem to have this here thingamajig up in front.
Well, that's a horn. You, being accustomed to an English saddle, probably think it's a senseless protrudence, but it isn't. When a cowhand's riding the range, it comes in mighty handy. And this, Mr. Griswold, is a...
Don't tell me. This is a horse.
Careful, don't get too close to his heels. He's an outlaw.
An outlaw? A thief? What'd he do?
He's what we call a bucker. Not a straight bucker like this, but a twister like this.
Oh.
No one's ever been able to ride him.
Really?
Really?
Well, that's interesting. Very interesting.
Well, Corrigan, if you're as good as Lynn Bledsoe thinks you are, you'll be right useful. No horse thieves around here yet, but plenty of rustling. And a murder thrown in for good measure.
Murder?
Yep. Bunch of scoundrels on the next ranch. Where's your horse?
Tied outside.
I'll have one of the boys put him up. Stay here and make yourself comfortable.
Thank you.
Oh, Maybelle,
Yes, Father.
will you come here, please?
Yes, Father.
You may be just the man I'm looking for.
Huh? How's that?
Looks like I need a new man in charge. I was thinking Shorty might do, but he's the man that got murdered. Oh, Maybelle, come here. Crash, this is my daughter, Maybelle.
Not the Crash Corrigan. I don't believe it.
Huh? Oh, well, to tell the truth, ma'am, it's kind of hard for me to believe sometimes.
I don't mean that. I mean you look so much like your picture.
Well, I was just going to say the same about you, only better.
I didn't think anyone noticed it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you remember, Father? Champion rider of the world.
Oh, shucks.
Shucks nothing. Little Bledsoe did know what he was talking about. Well, don't let Maybelle talk you to death.
Champion bronc rider. How exciting. Why, this is wonderful.
What?
There's an author here from New England gathering material for a book. I'll bet he's never met a real bronc rider. He'd probably love to meet you. Wait, I'll get him.
Oh, do you think you ought to, ma'am? You know how these writers are. He's likely very deep in thought. You don't mean Griswold, not Gerald Griswold.
Why, yes, do you know him?
No, I just heard a few things about him, that's all.
Well, sit down and tell me about them. What sort of things did you hear about Mr. Griswold?
Oh, just things.
That?
Well, you can't always go by what they say.
Who?
Oh, people and such. From what I gather, he's awful stuck on himself, tooting his own horn.
You mean he's a musician?
No, what I meant was that... Why, yes. I know for a fact. He's very musical-minded. Why, once in El Paso, they say he got up out of bed, in his nightshirt, mind you, just to listen to a Mexican serenade his gal. He got up in the dead of the night, went out on the balcony, and just stood there dreamy-like, a-listening.
It's a wonder he didn't catch cold.
Well, ma'am, you know he did. It was a-raining, that's what it was. It was just a-pouring down, and he paid no heed to it. I guess there's something to what they say. Music sure had charms to soothe the savage beast.
You don't say.
Look, I'll bet I can get him in here in 2 shakes of a dogie's tail just by singing. Where is he?
He's in his room down the hall.
Now, you come over here and sit out of sight. You sit right here. Now, you just watch what happens. My, what a wonderful day. Oh, gee, what a wonderful day. There's music in the air, there's joy everywhere. Oh, gosh, what a wonderful day. Music sure has charms to soothe the savage beast. When things go wrong, just sing a little song, you'll find it a wonderful day. No time to have the blues, no time for sad news. Don't waste any time keeping rhythm and rhyme, oh gosh, what a wonderful day. Some people sure complain about a little pain, but I'm not the sort to talk and squawk, 'cause it's always a wonderful day. When you ride along over hill and over dale, the world seems grand in this western land, oh gosh, what a wonderful day. There are days when it's hazy and the sun will not shine, and you feel so doggone lazy as you travel mile for mile. When the day is gone and you find your place to rest, pretty soon it's dawn and you start along on another wonderful day. The sun smiles in the sky, no one happier than I. It's the kind of a day you sing yippee-ki-yay. Oh gosh, what a wonderful day.
Mr. Griswold, what are you doing?
And nothing like stretching a tight pair of shoes, is there? Ah.
My, but you gave me a fright. I thought you were going to throw that at Mr. Corrigan.
Mr. Who?
Mr. Corrigan. Crash Corrigan. The Crash Corrigan, I'll have you know.
Howdy.
Well, I wouldn't think of throwing this at Mr. Corrigan. It ain't heavy enough.
I didn't get that.
Maybe you will next time. So you're Mr. Corrigan, huh?
Yeah, silly name, isn't it?
It is not.
Of course it isn't, Mr. Corrigan.
Oh, gee, thanks. But if I had it to do all over again, I sure wouldn't take it, even if it was given to me.
Which it wasn't.
What did you say your name was?
Why, this is Mr. Griswold, whom I spoke to you about. Don't you remember?
Oh, sure, I remember. Yeah, I always remember a name. It's some of the faces that throw me.
You know, Mr. Griswold, Mr. Corrigan and I are practically old friends. Our pictures were in the same paper.
Yeah, I wonder how that happened.
Oh, just luck, I guess.
Luck had nothing to do with it. Don't you believe him, Mr. Griswold? It was ability and courage. You're just modest, Mr. Corrigan.
Oh, gee, ma'am. But you know how it is. Some of these rodeo riders think they're some punkin' just because they won an old championship rodeo belt.
Come in.
I had to come over, Maybelle, because of the way Father treated you.
I didn't think anything of it.
Well, I did.
Please, I have company.
Oh. I'm sorry. But company or not, I've got to explain. I'm Grover Harrison. I know they told you about me because of Shorty Branscombe. They say I shot him. That's what they told you, isn't it?
No, I never said so.
Get out of here, Harrison.
Not until I've had this out.
You
I don't...
heard what he said.
Grover,
Never mind.
what's the matter with this valley? Has everybody gone insane? What's a line fence or a ranch or all the cattle on it?
I don't know, Maybelle. Except that a couple old men insist on acting like children. I'm sorry I came.
Just a minute, Corrigan.
Well, oh, yes, sir.
Beginning tomorrow, you're my ranch foreman.
Does that mean that I'm fired?
Sounds that way, doesn't it?
If it's because of what just happened to young Harrison, he asked for it.
He wasn't asking you. If you're afraid this Corrigan hombre might get in the way, we can take care of him, just like we did Shorty.
Nope. It might look suspicious, so soon after him taking my place. It looks like we'd better start working on the other side of the fence.
I don't know about that. The Colonel's got his cows guarded pretty closely.
Maybe we could take his mind off of his cows for a while.
How?
Well, supposing somebody did away with his kid. He'd be mighty mad, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he'd be hopping mad.
Instead of guarding his cows, he'd take his outfit over the fence and clean out the Pembrokes.
Yep, I imagine he would, but how do you figure something's going to happen to the kid?
Since he lost his appetite over that Pembroke girl, he's got in the habit of going for rides alone. Circle around and head him off.
likely saved your life.
Who are you?
Just a maverick. I was taking a shortcut I used to know to Thunder River. I got here just in time to see them fellas open up on you. What's all the shooting about, son?
I don't know. Any more than I know why a lot of things happen around here.
Such as what?
Well, a couple of days ago, one of Pembroke's cowhands got shot. Some folks seem to think I did it.
Is that Jim Pembroke you're talking about?
Yes. Do you know him?
Well, that's where I'm headed. He used to be top wrangler there a long time ago.
It must have been awful long ago, or I'd remember.
You been around here quite a spell?
I was born and raised here. It's all part of my father's spread.
Then you're a Harrison.
Yeah?
You must be little Grover.
I reckon I was little once.
Well, then take another look. You ought to remember me. I bought you your first bag of marbles, an even dozen glasses, and an egg of toast.
Alibi. Alibi Terhune.
Right. Say, about this cowhand just talking about getting shot. Did you say he's one of Pembroke's outfit?
Yeah. Shorty Branscombe. Must have come after you left.
I don't see why any Pembroke would think you did it.
Well, there's bad blood between the two outfits now, Alibi.
Well, I'm sorry, Grover. Especially on account of this being October. And close to Maybelle's birthday. Remember?
Yeah. The Halloween birthday party. And she's having one this year. I guess I'll have to miss it. There's not much visiting between the two spreads nowadays. Alibi, I wish you wouldn't say anything about the shooting that took place. It'd just get the two outfits suspecting each other more than ever.
Well, all right, if that's what you want.
Yeah.
Why, Mr. Griswold, what have you done to yourself?
Oh, hello. Well, I thought I could get more of the feeling of the Old West if I dressed like the other mavericks hereabout. How do I look?
Not bad for a maverick. Why don't you get Mr. Corrigan to give you some lessons on handling the rope?
If a common cowhand can do it, I can.
Why, Mr. Griswold, that sounded positively snobbish.
Oh, I didn't mean it the way it sounds.
Forget it. Here, let me show you. You merely swing your loop. There. See how it's done?
Yes, ma'am, I think so.
Let me see you try it.
All right.
Now, you hold the loop in the right hand.
Like
The
this.
coil in the other. Yes, that's right.
Well, try anything once.
Let me see you swing it now.
Like this, huh?
That's right. Hey!
Hold still, and I'll try to get us both out of this.
Yippee!
I was trying to teach Mr. Griswold how to throw a loop, and he got us all tangled up.
For a fellow that's got a book to write, he's sure wasting a lot of time.
Well, I never start writing until I've gathered all my materials.
Yours use a rope to do it?
Oh, no. Sometimes one thing gives me an inspiration, and then sometimes another.
Maybelle,
Yes, Father?
come on in the house. I've got a surprise for you.
All right. I'm afraid I have to go. Mr. Corrigan, why don't you teach Mr. Griswold a few rope tricks? He's very anxious to learn.
Glad to, ma'am. Now then, Mr. Griswold.
Listen, King, there's just one trick I'd like to see you do.
Yeah? What's that?
Hang yourself. Hey, Crash.
Yeah?
Come here.
Do you see what I see?
Those are Alibi saddlebags.
Sure enough. We better find out what he's up to.
You know who that is?
Well, I know I ought to know, but...
I reckon you've been trying to forget this face, but maybe this will make you remember who I am.
Elmer! Uncle Alibi!
I suppose the line forms to the right.
Elmer, you know what they say, last but not least.
Whee!
Together again, Maybelle, at last. We must never part again. Never.
Shall I knock on wood?
Some other time, it gives me the headache.
How long are you going to be with us, Uncle Alibi?
Well, we came for your birthday.
You remembered after all these years?
Sure have.
How could we forget? How could I forget? After all, you did carve the date on my chest.
Elmer.
Let me have Elmer. You sit down and make yourself to home.
We thought we might get invited to another one of them Halloween birthday parties.
Well, I hadn't made any particular plans for this birthday. But since you're here, there'll be a Halloween birthday party, and you're invited.
And I'm inviting you to stay on for a spell. What I need is somebody reliable to give sound advice. Just took on a new foreman, a young fellow recommended by Lynn Bledsoe. Maybe you've heard of him. Name's Corrigan.
You don't mean that warbling cowpoke?
Yes, he does sing. Do you know him?
Not personal. Well, I've heard certain rumors.
Bledsoe thought he was all right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is, as far as knowing cows and riding range is concerned. But I'm thinking about Maybelle. I wouldn't want anybody to break her heart.
Oh, I think I'm old enough to take care of my heart, Uncle Alibi. Why?
According to what they say, if all the hearts are scooped up that Corrigan has broke, it'd overflow a hay wagon. I have a notion you never heard what happened down in El Paso.
No, what?
Well, folks say it almost came to murder. All on account of a black-eyed senorita. Him fighting over her with another fella, a dude named Griswold.
Funny nothing's been said about that shooting he done at young Harrison. Yeah, it looks like they're figuring maybe somebody beside the Pembrokes is behind it. That's why I thought maybe we ought to forget the idea you had and start working on Pembroke's side of the fence again. That birthday party will give us a good chance. Sure. And there wouldn't be none of the hands riding the range. Except Pete and me, I agreed that we'd watch the cattle. I thought that maybe... Better see who that is. It's Buck. Well, what's up?
A buyer from Fort Worth just made a deal with that bunch of fatted beef on Harrison's North Range.
So?
So, play the black 8 on the red dime.
Oh, yeah, thanks. Well, what else?
Him and the colonel settled for $5,000.
Cash?
Yep, it's in the safe now. That's why I come out to see you. Cash ought to be easier to handle a bunch of cows with changed brands.
Yeah, it ought to. Hey, I like Buck's idea better than yours. Providing we can find a way to get to the money.
Well, a half a stick of dynamite and blow that old safe in two.
Providing everybody's moved off of the place so we can get to the safe. Maybe they will. Maybe we can rig up a little party of our own on Maybelle's birthday.
Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on this farm he had a chick, E-I-E-I-O. With a chick, chick here, and a chick, chick there, and a here, chick there, chick everywhere, chick, chick. I'll let you out, Mr. Pembroke. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on this farm he had a duck, E-I-E-I-O. Quack, quack here, and quack, quack there, here, quack there, quack everywhere, quack, quack. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on this farm he had a pig, E-I-E-I-O. With a oink here and a oink there, and a here, oink there, oink everywhere, oink. Old MacDonald had a farm,
Mr. Corrigan, with a voice like that, you ought to go on the stage.
Yes, Mr. Corrigan. Well, you know how it is, ma'am. Being a champion bronc buster, it keeps a fellow on the move. Traveling from one rodeo to another, defending his title and stuff.
Yes, I suppose it does. Then I imagine you must have been in El Paso at one time or another.
Well, now, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it was, ma'am. As I said, a fella keeps on the move.
I imagine it keeps you very busy between breaking broncs and breaking hearts.
Well, not so busy that I... Did I hear you say that
You did.
Oh, you did? Well, now, you can't believe everything you hear, now, can you?
I can.
Oh, you can? And besides, there's a lot more Corrigans around, you know.
No, I don't.
No?
No.
Oh.
Have an apple?
Alibi had something to tell you.
What is it, Alibi?
Me and your dad decided the party's kind of incomplete. Count of somebody not being invited.
Not invited? Who?
Grover Harrison.
Did Father say that?
On the way here to the ranch, I met Grover. And the setup was such that me and your dad both decided that maybe the Harrisons are blamed for a lot that they didn't do.
But even if I did invite him, he wouldn't come.
I think he would.
What about his father? He wouldn't let him.
I have a notion I can tend to that, too. Anyhow, I'm going to try.
Oh, I guess I'm just upset about missing Maybelle's birthday party. But just the same, there's something behind all this fighting business that nobody knows about. We know we didn't kill Shorty, and it don't stand to reason the Pembroke outfit would. That means that somebody or other's just...
A couple of Pembroke cowhands stampeded the cattle out of the East Range.
How do you know?
See a bullet hole? That's how. Chuck's giving them battle out in the rocks along the line fence.
Hurry up, round up the hands.
Here you are, Red. All right,
Pete and me surprised the Harrison outfit tearing down the line fence out amongst the rocks.
Are you sure it was the Harrisons?
Sure, I'm sure. I seen them, the colonel and the kid along with the rest. Pete's trying to hold them off while I rode for help.
Come on, men. Settle your horses.
Come on, man.
He must have gone ahead. Come on.
None of us get hurt.
Mr. Griswold, where did you get those guns?
They're mine, and I feel comfortable in them. And that's more than I can say for that name.
Mr. Griswold, where are you going? You'll get hurt.
Griswold get hurt? He's dead.
Did you see that?
I seen it, but I can't believe it.
That was no dude rider from Boston. Why, that mount was worthy of Crash Corrigan.
The colonel and his men. I'm ducking out of here. You do the same as soon as the others take over the firing. When we get the money, we'll meet you and Chuck at the hideout.
reaching for them rafters, brother. Move over there to the wall. Don't forget to keep reaching. The premises seems kind of deserted, so I guess I'll just linger with you fellers a while until somebody more agreeable shows up.
What happened to Pete?
No, why?
It's kind of funny that the two fellas that started this fight aren't around. Max never did show up, and now it looks like Pete's run out. You know, I've been notion to go over to the other side and do some questioning.
Hold your fire, boys, till I tell you to open up again. Colonel, you skin blink, can you hear me?
Yes, you concerned old cow thief. What do you want?
Are you willing to call a truce?
What for?
My new foreman's on his way over there for a powwow.
I'll tell him come on over and speak his piece.
You wouldn't happen to know who started all this?
What concern it you did? Didn't they, Buck?
Well, where is Buck?
Buck! Buck!
I don't think you'll find him, Colonel. He's gone with Tex. They started this thing and then ran. What we want to find out is why.
What are you driving at?
What are they keeping us occupied here for? What are they after?
Search me. The money. In the safe. You don't think
I'm sure of it. Now, you get your men mounted and meet us at the crossroads and hurry up.
If the jury gets through with you on this charge, they're going to have to start figuring out which one of you killed Shorty Branscombe. I knew somebody'd come along if we're just patient enough. Well, I reckon you fellas better get ready to march.
Drop that gun. You're the one that's going to march.
been taking place here?
Well, from first to last, it's a long story, Colonel.
With a lot of explaining to do, as well as one or two parties that have to get together.
There go two more of your ranch hands, Jim. Better get busy.
Dag nabbit, Colonel, you're on my spread again. You make another move like that, and I'll take you to court.
Hold on a minute, Jim. Looks like the boys are getting ready to go. Let's leave this lay for a bit.
Oh, that's all right by me. This here game's been waiting for us a couple of years. I guess it can wait a mite longer.
Yep, folks, that's how I figured. Tex, Buck, and Taggart, and those three fellows we rounded up at the mountain hideout has been causing all the trouble.
I still don't understand how they got hold of my horse.
Wasn't yours, Grover. That nag's natural hide is an off-shade bay. That splotch was only a couple of brushfuls of whitewash.
All right, reach.
Thought you'd make a getaway, huh?
Yeah, trying to sneak out on us, old codger.
Shucks, no. Seeing as how everything's all patched up all the way around, we figured we might as well be mowed in.
Down El Paso way?
Better ask Alibi. That's his story.
Yep, and we're stuck with it.
Well, so long, everybody.
Goodbye, Mr. Alibi.
Goodbye, Maybelle.
Goodbye, Mr. Corrigan.
Goodbye.
Aren't you taking Mr. Griswold with you?
No, sir.
We're leaving him with you.
We'll be seeing you, folks.